possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you, our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you, our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you, our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you, our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you.
I don't know, for whatever crazy reason, but the sound never comes through for me for the intro clip anymore. I don't know what's going on. It comes up in videos and everything, but for me, it just, for whatever reason, it doesn't come up. Welcome to this week's live stream, folks. I'm sorry if my throat sounds a little bit choppy, if I'm stuttering a little bit and I'm a little bit coughy. I'm suffering from a typical kind of British cold, which is totally normal for this time of the year. So across the board, I'm going to talk about a few things during this 1 hour live stream. And what I first want to address is that there's opportunities everywhere in crypto. It's not just in Lunar Classic. It's not just in the Terra environment. And nothing we ever discuss here is financial advice. You guys know that. But I recently have been eyeing up Dogecoin for the simple fact that it's a no-brainer that Elon Musk is going through with his purchase, and it's more than likely Doge is going to be the priority coin, so to speak. And if you don't know this, Starship themselves with the Starlink system are going to integrate Doge into that eventually, so that payments can be made without needing a actual internet connection. However that's going to work, I don't know, but that's kind of the plan, I think, with Doge, so to speak, with Twitter. So I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, so to speak. It's kind of like back when BAYC were launching the land sales for the other side, and you were able to purchase ApeCoin to buy the lands, and you know, the coin really, I think it run up to around $38. I think it run up to a coin, and I think I purchased in at around $2 and just rode it up the whole way. And then when I sold out, the even better thing was Elon Musk changed his picture to a load of BAYC NFTs, and the price shot up again. It was hilarious. So there's always, you know, places to make money in crypto, and whenever there's a really bloody market, if you've kind of dibble dabbled in stocks, if you've read books and you've kind of stayed with the overall like mood of things, you would understand that when the market's red like that, it's buying opportunities, and those buying opportunities will always create opportunities for more people to either long the market, short the market, you know, liquidity, all the futures and stuff like that. Everything contributes to crypto in its own way, shape or form, and you can't control crypto. A lot of people wish they could, but they just can't, and you just have to go with the flow a lot of the time. Now, with the IBC client passing, a lot of people are sitting there saying when IBCs, when IBCs, when IBCs, but even with the client being unfreezed, there's still a lot of work to do. I think the overall mood and movement of things is around December time to get things fully operational again. That in itself is really fast because, you know, 6 months ago, this coin was dead. It was finished. People were saying it's over and there's nothing left to give up and stop, you know, more or less roping people into a dead coin. But where we're sitting now, we really are starting to make headway, and just with proposals currently, look how clean it is. And that's for the simple fact of banding together. Yeah, when IBCs, banding together as a community. So IBCs in themselves probably coming around December time. It's not guaranteed, and do understand that there's probably going to be some coins minted, like I explained in my previous videos. That's totally normal. They're not really being minted because they're already there in the system. They're just kind of blocked up. No one knows quite how much is there, but it's there nonetheless. So there's a huge issue at the moment, I think, with us burning USTC. And I don't know how you folks feel. Let me know how you feel in the comment section about this. But do you really think it's good to keep burning USTC? Is it possibly not a better route to allocate that to either the community pool or to create this new developers pool and allocate those funds to there, and instead of sending that 10% which comes from the burn tax to the community pool, then actually sending that to the developers pool instead. Having a developers spend proposal is something that it's a bit of a no-brainer. And there's also something else a lot of people are kind of saying, and it's this ability to be able to like dedicate a percent of their yield automatically to the developers that are developing on the chain and supporting the growth, and i.e. Terra Rebels, so to speak. And I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for Terra Rebels to actually develop a smart contract to allow people to optionally opt in for that, because there's so many people that want to support the devs, and the community pool in itself is for projects, devs and everything, but it's quite clear that Terra Rebels don't want to use that pool and rely on that pool. So I think as a community, and with all the people that are able to put all the different proposals that are getting put up, I'm pretty sure a developers pool could be put forward. And I'm hoping that Edward Kim is working towards something like that at the moment, but it's all yet to be seen. Now, if you didn't see my video, I think it was late last night, about Alex Forshaw, now instead of going down this route of 9 multi-signature signers, he's suggesting that they burn the $4.16 million. And I guess this totally goes down to the community, and I think it, you know, surely it's going to go through as a proposal as to how the community wants to approach it. But honestly, I hope whoever ends up taking the liquidation kind of role of that wallet does all their own due diligence and understands that, is there any actual ties as to which, once they burn those funds, do they then become responsible for it? And even with them, you know, doing all of the kind of smart things that they do, the SEC are catching people that were doing dirty deals on the Silk Road, like, I don't know, like 18 years ago. And they're catching them now. So I'm pretty sure that if there's something tainted with those funds, that likely it would catch up with that person eventually. And especially with the bit inside pretty much more or less stating about him not wanting to do it and he's stepping back from it because of the legal issues with it, but is suggesting someone else to do it. And it just kind of seems a bit irresponsible. So we're going to be holding a Twitter space every Friday, same as this YouTube live stream, every Friday, regardless of the mood, the motive, how many people are interested or not. I understand that I think a lot of people have either, you know, flocked back to whatever meme coin they came from, or, you know, things just aren't that interesting at the moment. And like, I feel like those funds were probably like the best and worst thing that could have happened to us. It could have been dealt with in a good manner, and, you know, if they're not tainted, why not then just put them in a developers pool and, you know, really do fund the devs and stuff like that. But moving forward with stuff anyway, there's so much kind of like, not corruption, but lack of transparency, you know, lack of people just being able to go, well, you know, it's experimental. Well, you lost your money. Yeah, but it's experimental, so you lost your money. I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, when I've been doing my own due diligence on projects like these, you normally see them selling them as either some kind of like Messiah projects and stuff like that, where, like, I don't ever do that here. Like, I put a tweet out earlier about all the projects that are currently, like, you know, really getting me excited because of all of the use cases that are going to be coming forward and the volume it's going to be providing, and just like the lack of interest in that. And then I tweeted probably like 2 minutes after it, LUNC to the moon, LFG, and it instantly got more likes. And it's just kind of like, is this what kind of environments we're in at the moment? Like, the more use cases, the more volume, the more volume, the more burns, the more burns, the more happy people are going to be in general, and the more the supply goes down, and then in turn creating this utility burn circle. And with everything that I always see, like, so many people like talking in spaces about all these things that either they don't like people are doing or they're going to do themselves, but we just never kind of see like any. Yeah, I hope Ed's working on something too. I have no doubt he is. When I spoke to them, well, him in DJ Trev's live stream, it, you know, more or less seemed like they're taking all aspects in of it, but then what Alex has put out just throws everything off, and you just kind of wish, don't you, that it would not get spoken. I don't even know. It's so complex, isn't it? I don't think you could ever get anything right, no matter like what you're doing, where you're doing it, and how you're doing it. So I'm just going to grab a drink from the fridge, folks. Stay safe. Oh, now I've got really dry all of a sudden. So I've got Zaradar is coming on for a podcast episode on Sunday. So I'm going to put a post out in the Telegram group. If you've got any questions and stuff or talking points or anything like that, then feel free to put them in there, get them put forward, and I'll get them asked to the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's going to be really nice to get him on because I always enjoy my conversations with Tobias for the simple fact that he understands the movement. He understands it from an aspect of where he knows how important these utility use cases are, be them big or small. In fact, microtransactions in themselves are probably like the biggest things out there for like anything in the world. Believe it or not, one of the top selling items every year on eBay is mobile phone chargers. Like, people buy them from China, and one of my friends actually does this and sells them on a stall that he works at like in his spare time on the weekends. And he just sells phone charger leads, not even the plugs, nothing, just the leads, you know. And I think the average person goes through like 3 or 4 phone charger leads in a year. So that adds up on a very, very like huge scale. And Zaradar's always spoken about getting into kind of like how Java got into all technology back in the .com era. And it's like even part of your washing machines, if you've got like a smart washing machine, so to speak, or a smart fridge or anything like that, it will normally have some kind of C++ JavaScript development in it. And it will have utilized that technology. And that's kind of what Zaradar's idea of what LUNC could be, and the idea behind that is that these microtransactions would be so vast and so frequent that it would burn through the supply in no time. Now, if we did stop burning USTC, I honestly believe it won't be an issue, and I know a lot of people are going to sit there and instantly be like, no, it's really bad, don't stop doing that. The USTC supply is lower now than it was before the capitulation. I feel like it's at a healthy kind of stage. Now, with more than 20% of it being in the Binance hot wallet, do we really want to keep burning down that supply if we then later got to do things with it to help Lunar Classic? Because from what I can see, it doesn't look like Do Kwon and TFL are not even one bit interested in USTC or a repeg or anything like that. I even think the LFG guard plan's been totally scrapped now, but I'm still waiting to get a proper official kind of like update. The updates they put out are kind of vague, so very interesting. Today we've been going over the staking module, we've been going over the randomization of the mints, and they've been testing everything, and everything's working fabulously. Miata is launching on Monday. We will not be, I wouldn't have thought we'd be any more than 7 days behind them for launching LUNCPenguinsNFT. The staking module itself is built to not only help the people that actually purchase the NFTs, but help the system and do it sustainably. Do it so it can keep going and we can elaborate on it. And the idea is there's a hatchery later on down the line, and it's all going to be outlined in a white paper correctly as to how it's all going to go down. And I've put I think maybe 60 hours into writing everything down on paper and then moving it all over into white papers, getting it all ready, getting the data and trying to figure out a perfect balance. But guys, you should see the NFTs. They look absolutely awesome the way that they're minting out randomly. Now, as you can see here, this is the white paper I showed in the video. It is available on YouTube. This is what the NFTs in themselves look like. This one is a actual generated one. It's not one that will be in the collection because they're randomly minted. Everything on them are random, but this is the art style. I wanted you guys to see it up close and kind of see it for what it is. It's really got attitude. I really like it, but we never wanted to bring a project without a use case, and this really does have a good use case. This isn't going to be, you know, with LunCPenguins, the staking rewards in themselves are not amazing. They're not terrible, they're not amazing, but what we aim to do here is provide a very good treasury that can sustain itself, also get input from the node, and then also elaborate on that whilst also providing a good, healthy environment for people to huddle around and kind of get involved in something and stuff like that. So in itself, it's going to be like an auto staking thing. It's going to be launched in Q1 of 2023, and that's really not far away. I mean, you've got the rest of this month, you've got December, and then we're already there in January. It's flown by. Who would have thought that we've been, you know, in this since the start of May? Ashley William, stop. Well, all I've got to say to that, Ashley, is, you know, at least we're not full of horse here. At least we don't fill people up with clickbait. You know, you're more than welcome to leave, close the door on the way out, buddy, and go back to watching $1 meme content. It's pretty simple. No one's asked you to come here. This is a nice, quiet stream for, you know, HCC subscribers. Go back to watching all of the other doo-doo that you probably fill your mind with. But guys, it's looking really good. LUNC in itself is a movement that can't be stopped. It thrives under pressure, it thrives under stress and everything like that. I really should get a moderator for the comments, but yeah. There's just some sad people out there that just want to ruin your day. I had a really nice morning actually as well. I fixed a very, very old engine from like the 1920s. It was really, really nice, old clinker boat. And they're going to put it in the water today to pretty much make it watertight. They make it absorb the water and make it watertight. So the whole market is unpredictable. That much we do know. It's super, super unpredictable. But like I've been saying, you can't control this market. No one can control this market. And that's why I was kind of saying about Dogecoin. I know a few people that have been putting money into Dogecoin. CFI himself put some money into Dogecoin, I think when Elon Musk first said about it, and he said he's made good gains since then and he's just been playing on it. And it just does go to show it's not just Lunar Classic where you can earn money, and I feel like it's healthy for people to play with different kind of cryptos, you know. Diversify your investments, or not even investments, just your crypto purchases, the same way you kind of diversify your delegations and stuff like that, because anything can pop off at any moment. And I've always made more kind of gains for fun because I've always been in this bear market, if that makes sense, right? I've not been invested in a sense where I've seen a proper bull market. I've always only ever seen bear markets. So I've only ever played with small amounts of money. I know some people play with, you know, like hundreds of thousands of pounds at a time, and that'd be awesome, but I just don't. So whenever I make trades, I make them very carefully and very considerately. Now, all three coins seem to always move in tandem. Apart from LUNC, anything it does, it seems to just be more drastic and stuff. You can do your... Oh, mate, just leave, honestly. Ta-ta. I don't know what's up with some people. Just trying to have a nice conversation here. So we've got the Twitter space happening later on this evening. I'm going to try get as many different kind of projects as I can on this week for you folks. I'm going to try get Metagloria on. I'm going to try and get CFI to come in and speak about the guy who was saying about pegging USTC to one penny. I think in itself you could do that, but the issue is maintaining the peg. But I think it'd be interesting to hear the idea and the concept behind it. Oh, don't worry, Yana. I've removed them. I've got 3 screens, but I'm doing stuff on all 3 screens. I'm running a server test for some guys in India. So the staking module in itself is going to be self-sufficient. It will sustain itself and it will work for the greater good of this community. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So Miata is launching on Monday, and like anyone's going to be able to launch their NFT projects here. So if you've got an NFT project you've been waiting to launch, or you've wanted to launch it in places but you couldn't find somewhere that deals with LUNCs built into the blockchain and stuff like that, you'll be able to go through a system like this, an NFT launchpad, and like not only a Metagloria providing an awesome play to earn metaverse that's integrated into LUNC, but they're also providing a launchpad, a marketplace, and everything is just integrated into LUNC. I honestly believe when all of these kind of things start taking shape, molding into what they want to be, you'll start to see the volume move back up. Now, before the crash, there was so many projects building. There was so many projects building. I mean, there were so many projects building. They were building right up until the last second. I mean, Redacted Money was supposed to launch and then it crashed. Yeah, I'm super excited for Metagloria. I like the art style in Metagloria. The Mujis look awesome. I'm really excited for the airdrops that I need to speak to Strafe and Metagloria about that, but I'm sure cacti holders get airdrops in the future, so it's going to be really good. The community pool is for everyone and anyone. I'm still shocked that nobody's put a community pool spend proposal up for funding, because there's so many projects that want funding, they want to launch, and I always see people come to me and ask me to fund their projects, and I always say to them, you know, we're not one of them kind of YouTubers. We don't post $1 meme bait stuff. We've got honor, integrity instead. It'd be great though, you know, earning, you know, hundreds of pounds off of clickbait. Plant your little clickbait tree in the garden, go pick off all the best bits that you want, and yeah, so 1.183 billion. So that is for the 9th. Terra Station always runs behind with its data. For whatever reason, don't know. Lots of these kind of systems are delayed. We all know that coin market cap in itself is really delayed. They've only just started to get on top of the circulating supply. I mean, that's why we use LUNC Penguins for near everything. And when I say near everything, it's near everything. I actually have it on my other screen. Let me drag it over. There we go. So we've been doing really well as a node recently. We crushed through 18 and we're looking for that 16th position. I mean, we're really not far behind PFC nodes, and like so many of these nodes on here, I remember I was you know, explaining to people that MCF was supporting us from the very beginning, but you know, you just never plant a little clickbait tree in the garden. Yeah, I've got one. Did I not tell you guys? Yeah. They came the other day with my book on cults, because we're going to start a cult. We're going to call it the Happy Catty Cult. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. More coming about Happy Catty Cult in the future. We're also going to do LUNC Fest, where we can all get together and all cults can come together to conform under one banner for 1 week of burning LUNC. That'd be great, wouldn't it, if we did like a Burning Man festival instead? It was the Burning LUNC Festival, and then we all met at a certain place, right? And there was like a huge wooden LUNC coin just made out of like trees and stuff, and then we could burn it and we could all act like a cult because, everybody hates cults. So the APY keeps bugging out. I'm going to get Strafe to just take it down for now because there's so many people that freak out over it. They're like, oh my God. The rewards have dropped. It's all dropped. It's all going down. And you got people saying, yeah, the rewards are going to zero. Have you not seen it on Terra Station? It's like, yeah, no, it's bugged. It's like seriously see bugs. Yeah, we all get tattoos. Yeah, we're all going to get them. But we're going to get them ultraviolet tattoos with the UV ink. So then that way, we can never ever be singled out as cult members. And then as you enter into Burning LUNC Festival, you'll be scanned with a UV light to ensure that you are a actual cult member and not an infiltrator. Now, I got my Cult Beginners book from LUNCDAO, actually. Really good. And it's going to be a really interesting read, honestly. Imagine me starting a cult. Oh my God. They'd have a field day with me. They would have a field day with me. Did you guys catch the Exodus update? They really are going the extra mile. The system they're building out is going to be integrating a node as to which they're going to pretty much provide in-game staking for people through alliances. Basically the more territory you control through wars and stuff or doing different things, the more you'll get in staking rewards. It's going to be epic. And like I was saying, the volume in itself has picked up recently because of the sheer fact that market opportunities have been created just from the prices going up, down, people buying, people selling, and people that are paper-handed got scared, have more or less not only attributed to the transaction, but they've attributed to the burns as well. And just the way you're seeing this volume now is the same way I believe over, the next few months as these projects do start to launch, they start accepting Lunar Classic, people start to flourish and people stop getting scared. That, because I used to feel like this, just because people are going to hate on what you're doing or what you stand for, that it's not going to do well and you're going to fail. And when you walk into that mindset with things, it's not really, I think, a good way to go into things. You should really always go into things with a positive mindset. But there's been so many people recently more or less going around and auditing projects for the most negative reasons they can find, anything that they can find. I mean, someone was auditing a project we're working with and they were auditing the completely wrong people, and then they didn't even find out stuff about the company that I had found out about. And I was like, how can I miss that? But the good news is Terra Rebels seem to be paying more attention to the projects that are going around at the moment, and I know Exodus passed auditing as to which they've been checked out. They've been made sure that there's no funny business in what they're doing and their backgrounds and everything like that. And I'm sure the Exodus team's fully doxed, and they're always 100% open with us, and they've always been supportive of us. And the fact that Lunar Classic will be always utilized over anything else in that metaverse could pay off for us hugely in the future, because if you Google metaverses and the future of metaverses, the normal thing that's going to come up is the idea of them being the biggest honey holes that have ever existed. Now, if you've ever played FIFA, right, you would understand how much kids spend on FIFA packs. I don't know if you can still buy them, but you would understand how much people spend on those FIFA packs. I mean, think about the crates they were selling for PUBG, crates for Counter-Strike, and there's a market for literally everything. And gaming in itself is huge. It's hugely underrated, and no one, I don't feel, has successfully integrated crypto, Web3 and gaming together in an aspect that really does capture people and brings them together. If you haven't seen Exodus gameplay, honestly, go watch it. it seems like loads of people have missed it. They've been talking about it in the press conference channel on Terra Classic. Like, it doesn't even exist. And I'm just sat there like, oh my God. How have you not heard of these? I was like, have you not heard of Metagloria? They're like, no. What's that? What's that? You're like, what? No. 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 God, no. So, in itself, at first, I believe good morning, DJ Trev, welcome. One YouTuber that doesn't clickbait people. Fair play to you, Trev. You are an honest man. The LUNC Penguins NFTs, I think, at first, are going to be like, meh. And then when people start to see that, you're going to be able to get these awesome staking rewards. The hatchery gets released and you figure out what that does, what it's going to be, and what's going to come from that. And then people realize, oh, there's only 1,000 of them and we're never minting anymore. That is the one thing that is going to be the beauty of this project, and what I hope helps excel the value and floor price of these NFTs. Because even if someone's getting out the Lunar Classic game, right, they can even just sell their NFT to someone, and they don't need to kind of be like to them, you know, I'll buy this art because it looks great. You can say to them, you know, well, it will pay for itself. And I mean, Lunar Punks in themselves are such a successful project, and we were going to launch on their blockchain, but the way that the module works is it works off of a node treasury or a delegated treasury, and then only a certain amount of people can undelegate at a certain time, and it causes all sorts of palaver. So I always felt there was a better way to do it. So I outlined the way I would like it to work, and it seems like that can be done. We had a little bit of an issue at first where we couldn't get the balance right, and then we managed to figure it out, and everything's going accordingly to plan. Some of the NFTs, look, they were testing the randomizer earlier this morning, and I was watching whilst I was working on that boat, and I was laughing to myself because some of the ones that were coming out were just absolutely amazing. And just to see, after going through all the assets one by one, you know, having to kind of explain the idea to the NFT designer, and now seeing it where it is, it's awesome. And I honestly believe this is going to be just another awesome project which gives back to the community straight out of the HCC factory, which will add on to both LUNC Penguins and LUNC Blaze, and then we can move on to figuring out more issues and more problems and providing solutions for them. And one of the biggest ones out there I find at the moment is the route of funding the developers, giving them an actual proper kind of pool, proper funding. The issue around USTC being burned and stuff like that, I honestly believe the burning of all these other coins aside, like LUNC is really the only one we're really interested in dropping the market cap down to, right? These other stablecoin coins are just, I think the only one that's really worth anything is KRTC, isn't it? Isn't it, folks? Someone let me know in the comment section which one's worth the most. I just subscribed to enlist myself for the cult. Sweet, we'll mail you out your robes and everything next week. As you can see, John Hurth is a cult member in himself. He is part of the cult which donates to every stream. Guy is absolutely awesome. John, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being a part of the HCC community. And I just much love, much love. John, are you going to be grabbing yourself a LUNC Penguins NFT? The idea behind the hatchery should eventually lead us down the road of a mobile phone app. And the idea was always to try and turn LUNC Penguins, the website, into a mobile phone app for people to use. But as you guys know, like, we are, like, Strafe is, I mean, if we could clone him, that would be great. Because I would clone him like 10 times over. It would just, you know, be awesome. But we're very limited to how far we can reach at a lot of times, and Strafe helps so many people other than just the HCC community. He's doing so much to ensure that Miata.io is integrated. He helped Exodus with their smart contracts to ensure that LUNC would be usable, that the wallet would integrate correctly, the denoms would work right, and it's all about teaming together in times. And regardless, yeah, strafe clones, oh my god, it would be great, honestly. And you, Clueless, we'll clone you too. It'd be awesome. We got all of the gang in here, loads of OGs, Rips, Renee, Clueless, John Hurf, loads of the OGs in here. So I've reached out to the Exodus team, waiting to hear back about a meet in those graphics. Great. Trev, I'll message you on Discord after this stream, and I will get you a direct message back, dude. I can get you, an early access pass for you to do coverage as well, so you can show your community and help get the project out there. I know Terra Rebels have put it in the press conference thing, but like literally the doors are open. Like I can hook you up. We are so needing more people to cover these utility use cases and the projects, because like they have to pay so much, it seems, to get coverage from these real kind of big time influencers. And it kind of sucks that it's like, what's in it for me, because we're all supposed to be here supporting the community, and like there's so many people like, yeah, let's support the community, and then you look at their nodes and it's like, well, hold up a minute, you got a 0% commission rate. What? Wait, what? Like it creates so if we go to LUNC Penguins, right, it creates a really, really poor kind of competitive environment for like the really, really small guy. It makes it near impossible for a small node to really take on. I'm one node away from an active set, folks. If you don't know about the active set, then pretty much the nodes outside of the active set won't be getting rewards. So it then becomes a fight, right? So to enter the active set, you're going to need more than that amount of Lunar Classic delegated with you. So like, say you've got a project, right? Say you're building I don't know. Say you're building what's a good example? I mean, for example, like look at how Lunatics token are utilizing nodes, right? They've got two. There's one for their NFT. I'm sure it's their NFT. I might get this wrong, but they have got two nodes, and one of them they're utilizing to help with their, I think it's their NFT rewards, right? So they're utilizing the technology to create a project which in itself creates transactions on the network, right? And then those transactions create burns, right? And because that all keeps happening over and over and over, it really does help. So each one of these nodes, like they can utilize a node in so many different ways to, not only better themselves, but better the community, better their delegates and stuff like that. Like we've been considering at the moment doing a prize pool for our node, as to which once a month the smart contract will pick one wallet and it will give the prize pool to them, and a certain amount will be allocated to the prize pool every month out of the node's yield. And we'll also like put NFTs into that wallet that distributes those rewards. But I feel like it's kind of all about providing a really nice environment where not only you're showing the people outside of your node that, hey, we're building here, we're really bullish because we're running a node. Like people ask me all the time, are you bullish? Well, yeah, of course we are, because we're running a full node, right? Like LUNC Penguins in itself is always run from it's a test node, right? Straight. Oh no, I think it's just a full node on the. Anyway, we've always got the data by running a node, and like this website has utilized the endpoints of everything. Like ask a question to the system, get an endpoint, and you can use this by doing multiple. You can do it through the Swagger system, but there's more intricate ways to do it and stuff like that. And we need more people to be more inspired. when people get inspired, they want to create, they want to come to the blockchain, and they want to be part of this community that's thriving, that's building, and is doing all these great things. Like, think about when we was back in May and we was so small, the movement in itself was tiny, and now it's this huge movement that's kind of a little bit unsure about what's going on. Like, before that money came about, we were booming, everything was booming, everything was going really good, and that money came about, and now certain people don't even talk to certain people. Like, there's a group of people that completely want to go a different route, and that's the beauty of decentralization, right? There's some people that don't understand the way a community pool spend proposal works, and feels like that there's not a fast enough route to get funding. And you know, everybody's got different views, and that's kind of the, honestly, John is more than amazing. It's every single live stream, and I really am trying to get into a routine here at HCC, and we've always been in this kind of like crazy environment up until, like a week ago. Everything was just 100% wake up, and everything was just full blown go all the time. And now we've had time to kind of think things have quietened down a little bit, and we've kind of had time to collect ourselves here, understand that in this environment that we're in here, being HCC, a lot of the times being nice has only ever got us walked over by either like projects or just people in general. Like, normally when you reach a hand out to certain people, they just tear your hand off. It's just, it totally sucks. Like, seeing Alex's kind of end result of what could have been a really good proposal, of how it turned out, and it just totally sucks to see, these, like, it doesn't inspire people when people see that kind of behavior, I think. And we've got, the reason why I've been saying about cults, folks, is because we've got so many kind of like blind cults. Like, here at HCC and the HCC factory, we're trying to like build like this kind of environment that tries to cover all bases as much as it can, and trying not to get into this kind of like fueling people's heads full of like junk and blocking movement just because we don't like what it is, and using our community to more or less, decide what happens and stuff like that. I just want everything to be as decentralized as possible. I want everybody to just get on and stop, more or less SHITing on each other. And like, in the Terra Classic environment, it's more than needed. I get it in the YouTube environment. YouTubers are absolutely bloody ruthless to each other. There is no church in the wild. I've got my hands in my eye. I'm like holding my hands over my eyes when I say this, because like, I've always gone off that good guy, the good guy and stuff like that. And we've had people try to steal LUNC Penguins away from us and get our developers to shut down LUNC Penguins and, start a new website with them and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just absolutely insane. So we're going to be burning this month on the 26th of November. We'll be burning on the 26th of each month after that. I'm still trying to figure out a way to automate it, but I think it's a bit more complex than that, and I think it just needs a human touch, because I have to do it through the ledger and stuff like that. Oh, dry throat. Oh, I hate being sick. You must be able to like hit, when your voice, you forget how much you appreciate breathing out of your nose when you're sick, right? You sit there and you think about all the times when you could breathe correctly out of your nose. Those were good times, right? Good times. So I honestly think the stopping of USTC burning is a really good idea. I then believe the creation of a dev pool, regardless of there being any funds to go in it right now, is really needed. Like, really, really needed, because not only will it allow for the devs to get a pool for funding, it it allows people to fund the devs if they want to, if that's institutes, businesses, projects, people. If they want to donate to the developers pool, they can do that. And then once that pool's like in place, right, we can then think about reallocating stuff. So when the burn tax was reduced, what am I going to show all for? When the burn tax was reduced, right, there was 10% set aside to finance ecosystem and infrastructure for contributors, okay? That should then be reworked and sent to the community and to the developers pool instead of the community pool. As to the USTC, instead of it being burnt, send it to the developers pool. And then if we go all the way back to Proposition 4080, 50% of these transaction fees were sent to the community pool. This happened. The only thing that didn't happen in this proposal was the burn on the community pool, thank God, because the community pool had been demolished by now. There was supposed to be 10% airdrop to ecosystem devs and 5% retained for core classic development, right? That in itself can then be reallocated to the developers pool, and it will start to hopefully put the developers more at ease. If we come across funds, the pool's there, it's ready to go, and it can come with a new proposal type. You could even make a non-native pool and a native pool, just in case you need to keep stables, which is not a bad idea at all. But we keep our community pool in LUNC as well, and I think that shows that we believe in our coin. It shows for people on the outside of our community the same way a developers pool would kind of attract new developers. I wouldn't think it could. It should, and it would if you had enough in it, because like if you run a company, right, and you can afford to pay loads of developers, you're going to be successful, right? Because you can hire all these developers. Like, we've got the funds in the community pool. I feel like we should, you know, at least do something with it to support the devs. And it seems like nothing has actually been done within this time of those funds. And we got to the funds being where they are now, and it's just like, well, we can burn them. We can like swap it all out, burn it, but someone has to take that kind of roll on for themselves. And you know, we really didn't ever like get anywhere from it. It kind of just put us in this kind of limbo stagnation period, as to which now like everybody solely thinks because those funds won't get to where they need to go that it's dying, or you know, things aren't going too well for us, when in fact that Terror Rebels is still building. I know Tobias very well, and he'll outline it in the podcast on Sunday, and he said it to us many times. He's not going anywhere, and I'm off the same thing. Like, even with me, you know, working, I'm still here for the community. I'm never ever leaving. I'm never ever going anywhere, even if that means, you know, doing a couple videos here and there. I'm still going to be here. The node is always going to be able to burn. It's always going to be able to cover its running costs, because you folks, the community, have supported us. You can continue to support us, and like, I can't thank you all enough. Where we were at the beginning to where we are now, I've had a lot of time to think and grow. Like, I've always said to people, I never ever expected this, and like, everything's still a surprise to me. Everything still kind of shocks me, and I never thought that we would do as well as we did with the node. I honestly believe that, you know, people like Classy, people like Crypto King would absolutely destroy us because of their monumental YouTube communities that are built on this kind of like meme like narrative, which is for whatever reason just accepted as normal when it's not. It's like a plague on society. But you know, that's just my own personal opinion, which I'm entitled to. And I've always kind of said that from the very beginning. I remember when I first started the YouTube channel, and I was saying to everyone, you know, this is why I will never ever do paid promotions. This is why I will never charge people to help cover their projects that, like, I always think about Metagloria, like where Metagloria are now compared to where Metagloria were when they first started. Like, they've come a long way, and small projects need this kind of help. Like LUNCPenguins, hugely successful project, right? When the capitulation hit, they were absolutely trashed. Their treasury got trashed, the NFT system got wrecked, the floor price got wrecked, and it was dead. It was done for. I met Luna V. He explained to me, you know, his story. I felt so bad for this project, and I decided to dedicate myself into helping restore and revitalize that project. Now he's the marketing manager for LUNCPenguins. They're thriving. They built a remint thing. The floor price is going up. You could buy a LUNCPenguin for $2 when we started first showing them to people, and I think now some people are paying, you know, millions upon millions, and we really did do so many charity auctions for them on the channel to our community to help build their treasury up. What did we sell the contraband punk for? I can't remember. It was like 17 million or something like that, wasn't it? 7 million? I can't remember. Someone will know, but yeah, it's one of those ones. Yeah, so hopefully the meme narrative will eventually get killed out by honest influencers like myself and people like Trev. Like, Trev is always so honest with people, and he's a good guy. Like, huge shout out to you for getting Edward Kim in an episode. Like, I've struggled for so long to get him because he's just so busy all the time with all the different things, and hopefully now with him taking this kind of Terra Grant scheme role, things will kind of like free up space and time for him, and to be able to kind of showcase these kind of projects and show off stuff. And he's got a really, really good mind. The way he showed off the Terra Faucet in the way he did was so elegant yet simple, and it was just such a simple little tutorial but awesome in itself, and it just goes to show what great-minded people can do. So folks, I really appreciate you all turning up to this live stream. I always enjoy the Friday live stream, even with the silly people joining and being upset that we've called their favorite influencers clickbaiters, and, you know, getting all sour and stuff like that. But hopefully we'll catch you in this evening's live on Twitter, and I think I'll also stream it on YouTube as well if I'm able to do that. If not, you know, catch it on Twitter. Raise your hand, ask questions. If you've got a project, feel free to head in, speak about it. We'll try help you out where we can and put you in touch with the right people. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donation, John. As always, guys, stay safe. None of this is financial advice. Beware of scammers, doppelgangers, anybody who's pretending to be me. I'll catch you in the next one.